Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have Neeb in the bottom left as our blue Protoss player playing for Team Onsite Gaming, I think it is. And in the top right we have DRG playing for Team NV. Probably currently the ace for Team NV, I would say. Their best player, Bunny and Creator, had some good performances. But after the most recent GSL performance, I feel like DRG is quickly on track to become, well, one of Korea's best Zergs, first of all, but also just probably the best player in Team NV. After Maru left, you still got your Bunny, you got your Creator. Who else is in Team NV? Why can't I get to any of the other names right now in my head? I know they have a couple more players. They have a pretty strong lineup, if I recall correctly. Nightmare they have as well, I think. NV Nightmare. Anyway, let's hop straight into this game, as it's between Neeb, our American Protoss, who's actually teamed up together with Maru. I'm not quite sure who the team belongs to, if it's just Maru's team or if it's the team of some Korean investor. I do believe that it's just a Korean team, and then they got Crank as a caster, I believe, as well as Neeb as a player for them, which is kind of funny because Neeb recently left Team Ting, which he was with for, I think, 5 or 6 years or so, because he's going back to university. He's going to study, God, maybe computer engineer? I actually have no clue what he's studying. Maths? I feel very sad that I can't quite remember, but as he is a StarCraft 2 player, most of the time it's computer science. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be computer science. Literally 90% of the people that retire go ahead and study computer science. I guess because it feels pretty similar to playing StarCraft all day. You sit behind your PC. The grind is it's pretty much the same. Alright, we have our first Oracle making its way across the map right now. And 2 adepts are joining in for the fun as well. Is that a 3rd adept being built here at home? Yes, it is. 2nd gate on the way as well. Ooh, this Oracle is going to get 4 or 5 kills here. Sloppy play out of DRG. Yep, 4 kills, a little bit of hull damage on this bad boy. And the adepts are going to start moving back home. 8 links have been created, so these adepts did their job. They didn't get any kills, but they did force out 2 extra sets of links. Usually you only get 4 links. Now there is 8. That means 2 less drones. Add that on top of the 4 drones already killed, and we're down 6 drones from where we usually are as a Zerg player. There's not a single spore yet on the map, and that gives another possibility for Neeb here to actually do some damage. One of these... Oh no, this is sloppy Neeb. I think he could have saved that one Oracle. I like that this Oracle stayed a bit longer, try and kill more, but that Oracle did not need to be sacrificed for that. You could have flown it into the dead space. This is an insane map for Oracles. Let's not forget about that. You have a lot of dead space, a lot of angles you can come in from. It's a little bit sloppy. We have 2 extra gates being constructed right now, pre-tech. So this is going to be a serious investment into some pressure, I want to say. Oracle makes its way in towards the natural, gets another kill. 12 kills in the first 4 minutes and 50 seconds. If DRG had the ability to redo this early game, I'm pretty sure he would take that opportunity at any point. We have a 4th Oracle being pumped out here. Okay, this is a build order that I have not seen before. Really cool though. Huge fan of this. Just a lot of gateway units, and then adding more and more Oracles as well. So you get this powerful type of push. It's difficult to kill the gate units, and especially if you're doing this in a non-committed way. This has a lot of potential, I think. I actually really believe this has a lot of potential. Not to kill, necessarily, but to force out a crap ton of units. And if the 3rd Oracle is going to join up, maybe even kill some queens here. Here we go, Neeb. Want to fight those queens? Yep, 1 queen gets taken out. Adepts try to shade in. More links are in production. We have 18 links done. Now, at some point, we are going to need to start adding tech, I believe. We can indeed see the Forge and the Twilight going down right now. Maybe extra gases would be nice to have as well. I at least would not mind this. Overlord will get blasted here. A couple of creep tumors also going down. I don't think that this hatchery can be cancelled. There's still 4 queens. Actually, there's only 4 queens total. That's not that many queens whatsoever. Especially with 2 oracles still having a decent chunk of energy. 34 links now, though. It seems extremely unlikely that Neeb can continue fighting her. He needs to be somewhat careful as well. Okay, life is fun, but you gotta be careful. You really have to be careful. You know what I wouldn't have minded? If the follow-up here wasn't Blink, but it would have just straight up been Charge. So you just use the Stalkers for that initial pressure, and then you say, hey, I want Charge, Templar Archives. I actually want a fast 6 gases as well. So your opponent isn't too likely to go into mute. I mean, you already have the Stalkers as well. You can still get Blink after the charge, but charge allows you to put on a lot of pointed pressure against Ling heavy builds, because you can also warp in some Archons. Stalkers cost a lot of gas, which means that whenever you're building Stalkers, you can't really build Archons. I really like the thought of that, honestly. Something that it wouldn't surprise me if we see people experiment with that in the future. Just building Stalkers initially. This was a terrible fight here for DRG, losing almost every single Ling, and immediately needs to rebuild 18 Lings. That's 9 drones, or well, that's 9 larvae that could have been drones and now end up being Lings. +2 is being started. Second Evo chamber on the way as well. And this is very similar to how we've seen Scarlet play. Double Evo, very low gas. DRG's been working off of 2 gases so far. I mean, this gas in the natural hasn't been mining up until this point. We do have a Rotorn for any potential big charge lock pushes, but everything else is just pure Ling. And despite the low worker count that DRG has been working off, he still managed to get a lot of units because his mineral income is extremely high and Lings don't cost any gas. Queen Ling is the future, according to DRG here. Now, of course, his early game has been pretty terrible, freaking terrible, honestly. Hot garbage. I mean, 15 workers going down. It was 15, right? Yeah, 15 drones going down. Losing a couple of queens. Creep spread is terrible as well, like actually awful. Long way in for me, rather than +2. Interesting move. Very interesting, actually. Blink has finished up. These Stalkers will get an okay-ish fight because of that, I guess. First couple of Roaches also being built right now. But without Roach speed, the Roaches are extremely terrible against Blink Stalkers. So don't actually want to have them in the fight. You just want to have them behind. It's kind of like mental support. Like, we're behind you, Zerglings. Keep going. It's just so... I'm actually not quite sure what they're here for right now. Maybe in case a bunch of Zealots show up, it's really nice to have Roaches against Zealots. I guess that's the one thing that DRG is slightly afraid of at the moment. We have our first warp-ins of Zealots, as there are 16 out on the map, 18 Stalkers, double Forges, pumping out upgrades, Templar Archives on the way as well right now. And with the 3 Oracles still flying around, creep is going to be difficult to spread here for our Korean Zerg player from Busan. 5th base might be in the works a couple of seconds from now. It's actually a real possibility, 5th base. The thing with getting such a quick 5th base is that as a Protoss, you need to keep map control. The moment you lose map control, you can't defend all mineral lines, just because of how the walling works on this map usually. You need to defend over here. Run-bys from the left side are possible, run-bys from here, run-bys from here. This is pretty locked off, but there's just a lot of area you need to cover, which can be tricky. We see Neeb jump. Was that a blink forward that I just missed? I think so. Not a huge fan of blink forward usually, especially if there's a couple of Roaches behind as well. Most of the time, you're just going to end up blocking yourself. Ling flank coming in as well from this left side. These are 2-1 Lings against 1-1 gateway units, and these 2-1 Lings actually doing a fantastic job here. What a great fight by Neeb. Or, sorry, by DRG. What a great fight by DRG. It felt like this entire early game, DRG should have just been dead, but it seems like that despite his terrible early game and some questionable decisions with the Lings in the early stages of the mid game over here, if we recall, DRG is actually still hanging in there. He's up 30 supply, his upgrades continue going. He's now getting his range upgrade. I'd love to see Hive being researched, just for the simple reason of Adrenal Glands. +3 melee attack as well, but Adrenal Glands is such a huge buff to Zerglings, right? The increase of the attack speed is, well, probably the biggest upgrade in the entire game. Maybe Stim is more important for Terran, but yeah, Adrenal is a crazy upgrade. Like, the increase in damage output on Lings is wild. Especially if you're fighting against a lot of Zealots who don't have Splash. It makes these fights go so much easier. I'm glad we see the Hive right now. Good surround there out of DRG. His control on these Lings is fantastic. Really phenomenal play. DRG is a very, very good Zerg player. It's actually crazy. This is one of the things I often feel like with some of the Koreans, is that their early game and the early stages of the mid game even, it's not as tight as some of the Europeans. A lot of the European Zergs, in my mind, have slightly tighter early game. But it doesn't really seem to matter for the Korean Zergs as much, or for some Korean Zergs. Seem to be completely fine with just kind of having a crap early game and then making some plays in the mid, playing some damn good StarCraft 2. These Roaches are being caught in an awkward angle though. They don't have the greatest upgrades, only +1 attack on those. Still seems to be absolutely fine. Neeb is getting pushed back here and has been mainly relying on these gateway units. I mean, Templar also are gateway units, but at least they have some type of splash. There's a lot of roaches on the map, so these Archons aren't even like an absolute showstopper as they would be against pure Link Bane. There's a big run by on the way as well. There's no storm, right? No. Okay, this Archon is gonna die if DRG pays attention, and of course he pays attention. He's gonna take out that Archon. At the same time, he's microing here on the top side as well. Roach is moving forward. Not quite sure if he can take this fight though. There's not quite enough links to fight. No, he could turn around. He definitely could turn around. 16 works are gonna get taken out here on the bottom side. Neeb is going to try and push in. Losing this bottom side base is annoying for Neeb, but it's also not the end of the world. Take a look at the worker counts here. 71 against 76. If Neeb can stabilize somehow, some way, he might actually be okay. But in order for that to happen, we're going to need to see more Archons, possibly some Immortals as well. Upgrades are already getting ahead of here for Neeb. I mean, Adrenal is huge. +2 carapace also on the way. Oh, and +3 too. Okay, DRG is just keeping up, never mind. I said nothing. I did not speak, my friends. I'd love to see a robotics facility just for the Prism at this point, honestly. I think it's worth it. L'Oreal. Because you're worth it. I think that's L'Oreal, right? It has something to do with eyelashes. I think L'Oreal is eyelashes. Good catchphrase, if I still remember it. And I never really cared very much about my own eyelashes. Because you're worth it? Yeah, definitely L'Oreal. Or is that a shampoo brand? Also possible. Probably a shampoo brand, actually. Like the female Head and Shoulders. Okay, this is an interesting defense. Just going to cancel the Nexus. DRG is going to commit there to this location. At the same time, Neeb spots this morph. It's like, hey, I don't want these banelings to morph right in my face, bro. That's messed up. I'm gonna push you back. This also gets pushed back. And a lot of these bigger gas assets stay alive here. Look at that. 6 Archons, 17 Stalkers. Now, one of the issues we still have is that there is no Storm. Storm is huge against Link. Storm is huge against Banes. Without Storm, life is difficult. With Storm, life is easier. Not necessarily easy, just easier. We have more Oracles on the way as well, going up to 4. Cancel once again on this 5th base. This is okay for Neeb, as long as he's mining off of 6 gases at least. Right now he's mining off of 8. He's mining off 8 gases, that's all you need as a Protoss player. As long as you're not losing anything, if you're not losing units, if you're mining off of 8 gases, you're going to get a massive army. Trust me on that. Oh my god, there was a hole here. Did not quite realize that. That means that these probes actually get to live. They'll die another day. 5th base over here on the top side is also being reconstructed. Or well, it's the first time it's over here, but the 5th base being reconstructed. More banelings moving in towards the 4th. There's not enough cannons to take all of these out. We should see a baneling split. Well, we're not going to see it. I'm not going to get the connections that they want, obviously. Got a couple of workers, but it's not going to be good enough. Neeb's actually moving out on the map right now. Is his army... There's a lot of... 12 queens. 12 queens, 29 banelings, 97 links, 14 roaches. I think for DRG, if you get into this type of stage of the game, eventually you need to throw down an Ultra Cavern. It is mandatory, because otherwise you're going to fight an army with legit like 12 Archons that have 3 shield upgrades, or 1 shield upgrade in this case actually, so it's not that good. You're just not going to be able to get a good fight, is what I'm trying to say. It's not possible. Like, you can get 80 banelings. You're going to get an extremely cost-inefficient fight. Add in a couple of Ultras, however, if there is no Immortals, that's going to be great. Blinding Cloud is something that I think is underused in this type of scenario as well. Blinding Cloud on top of these Archons would be massive. Would be so huge. You could just zone out an entire area. Gonna have to wait and see if DRG can actually fight this. Link's coming in with the surround. Nice flank here. Banelings rolling in as well. Neeb blinks into the Banes, it almost feels like. But these Banes don't quite get the finish on a lot of these Archons. Look at this bad boy. This Archon has 5 HP remaining. I see one over here with like 80 shields. There's one bad boy over here with like 10 shields. This is scary for DRG all of a sudden. Does he have the Larva? There's 4 Larva remaining. There's 60 Links on the way. 6 more Ravagers as well coming out right now. This is actually looking playable for Neeb. Neeb can do it. This is the final effort, though, I think. That Neeb has in him. The final push. This is it. It's now or never. A lot of supply for DRG is in those queens. Archon's not quite paying attention to these links. Good control on these links, by the way. DRG playing one hell of a game here. The control on these units is so good. Wants to try and deny this base right now. There's not a battery, which means that this is going to get denied really quickly. A couple of zealots are being sent home. That's not going to be enough, is it? There's so many links here. I think he can turn around for sure. Ravagers will be useful because Archons, well, they're easy to hit with Biles because they kind of clump on top of one another. We see that happen right now. Usually Ravagers are completely useless against an army like this. In this case, actually somewhat useful. Links take out the top side base, will most likely continue their reign of terror. Move down towards, well, what is that? Like the 10 o'clock or the 9.5 o'clock. This base also is going to get taken down though, so both players taking out each other's eco. DRG is at 1500 minerals and 160 gas. That means that banelings are not quite going to be possible. Oh, that's a nice catch. If you can get both of these Archons, that's a huge catch. Yeah, I love that he let those Zealots run. He's like, hey, Zealots I can deal with. Zealots are actually quite bad against everything I have. Archons, that's a different story. If I can deny you from joining up with more Archons, I always want to be doing that. For sure. For sure. 50 workers for Neeb, 33 for Dongregu. 7 more banelings on the way. This is also the thing, right? Against Zealots, banelings just work so well. And against Archons, well, banelings don't work at all, basically. This is what you want. You want banelings to go into the Archons as a Protoss. Good run by all the DRG. Quick response out of Neeb as well. Neeb's playing a fantastic game. I've been hyping up DRG, but honestly, Neeb, some stellar decision making, insane reaction speed. The reflexes have been fabulous. Ooh, this is an interesting fight here. Lots of queens on the top side tanking a lot of those Archon shots. Bottom side Archons also will get taken out. Are there still links remaining? Oh my god, if there were like 20 links right now at this point, this army would be toast. But because there's no links left, I'm not entirely sure, honestly. Stalkers can micro pretty far. 10 more links are on the way. Oracles managing to deal a lot of damage against these Ravagers. And the thing that's remaining right now is these queens blink forward. Is that the play? Is that the call? Maybe? I don't know. No, maybe not. I guess the banelings managed to, in the end, actually connect here. Connect with these probes because there's only 8 left. We have 46 army supply against 46, 12 stalkers against 7 queens, 9 queens, and 16 links. And the longer this game goes, the better it's going to be for DRG. That's a fact, an uncontested fact, undisputed fact. Ooh, Oracle's gonna get taken out. Or sorry, Ravager's gonna get taken out. Another Ravager being targeted down here. Big blink forward out of our good friend Neeb. Queen will get blasted here. Can Neeb... Oh, 2 Archon shot. This is it. This is the push. We still have 300 income for Neeb. We have 800 a minute for DRG. Here comes the Spore moving forward. Oracles are out of energy. That means that's 12 dead supply. But these Archons are so good against the links. But this Archon warping was great. Oh, 1 Archon's going to get taken out. Second Archon's being targeted down as well. Links practically dead. Okay, no more Archons remaining right now. 4, 5 workers going down. No Spore in this base either. This is out of position, isn't it? It's way too far towards the left side. In the heat of the moment, DRG made a small mistake there. Well, small mistake. It's actually a pretty big error, honestly. No way. No, there's still 5 Rogers on the map as well. There's just not enough income for Neeb. It's just not possible. It's just not going to be possible. Good control out of Neeb, but GG gets called. DRG wins this game. This was a really sick game. Actually, a really sick game. And that is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.